Now, today's top stories and Power of 5 weather from News 5. Sponsored by Akron Children's Hospital.
Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, on the 7th of August. It was actually on this date back in 1782, 240 years ago, that General George Washington created the Badge for Military Merit, or what we now know today as the Purple Heart, the nation's oldest military decoration. Today, the Purple Heart we know is awarded to those killed or wounded in action against an enemy, and for most recipients, the wounds they received were evident, but not all are, and not all came at the hands of an enemy. Heath Robinson was an Army Sergeant First Class with the Ohio National Guard. He died 2 years ago of cancer directly tied to toxic burn pits during his time serving in Iraq. He was not eligible for a Purple Heart, but this week the Senate, in a bipartisan vote, voted to make sure that in his name, veterans in his position will receive the treatment they need. Senator Sherrod Brown was one of the forces behind the act.
Yeah, the Pact Act, called the Heath Robinson Pact Act, named after an Ohio soldier who passed away from his exposure to these football field-sized burn pits where they burn medical supplies and computer equipment and tires and who knows what else. This bill is going to mean that those exposed that get different kinds of cancers or bronchial diseases will actually get health care at the Cleveland VA or the VA in Dayton or anywhere around the country. It's a really big deal. These soldiers take an oath to protect our country. We as elected officials take an oath that we take care of them if they get sick because of their service or if they're injured. We finally did that here, and the Heath Robinson Pact Act is a really, really big deal for hundreds of thousands of Ohioans.
Ohio veterans are also one of the groups that the Ohio Secretary of State's office is calling on to help man the polls on Election Day as part of their second call to duty push. With the conclusion of this week's primary leaving now a short window till November, they're going to need the help. During a regular election, the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections hires more than 100 college kids to staff the warehouse on election night. The problem with an August 2nd election? The college kids aren't back in town yet. Enter the Warrensville Heights High School football team to the rescue.
Well, I thought it was a good idea for us to come do some community service, some team bonding, some team building. So I took the offer.
This night, Coach Bronson Green's players are getting the dual lesson in civics and finance.
Not only are they making money for themselves or for their organization, for their booster club, but they're also involved in election in some part.
And the Board of Elections is going to need all the help they can get here going forward. Typically, after a primary like this that has 6 months to get ready for the November election, this year they'll have half that.
Already today, we sent out notices to the polling locations that we want to have for November to try to get those locked in.
They'll also have to lock in the ballots once this night's primary winners are certified.
In a county like Cuyahoga, for example, there may be well over 1,000 different ballot types. Each one of those has to get laid out and proved. And the boards of elections need time to do that work. Everything's gotten compressed this year.
What put them in this situation to begin with was the delay of the Redistricting Commission, which LaRose is a part of, to come up with court-approved state legislative maps in time for the May primary. The Ohio Supreme Court last month, in a separate ruling, also ordered the commission to again redraw the congressional district maps. Since the earliest those maps would be used is 2024, LaRose tells News 5 it doesn't make sense to do that redrawing now.
At this point, it would be confusing to set a whole new set of districts. People would wonder, is it this map or is it that map? I think that confusion should be avoided. I think that there will be a time for drawing new district lines, and that'll be next year.
Well, another responsibility of the Secretary of State's office is overseeing the creation of new jobs. And Ohio's focus on training the next generation of manufacturers was recognized this week as the Ohio Manufacturers Association received one of the largest awards from the White House as part of their $500 million Good Jobs Challenge. And that's literally what it was, a challenge to find out who has the programs already in place to recruit and train a workforce for the good jobs that are open and out there. The Good Jobs Challenge seeks not only to prepare people for, then place them into, jobs in manufacturing, but seeks to target areas of the workforce who may never have even considered manufacturing as a career.
Women, with people of color, with veterans, with formerly incarcerated individuals, making sure that we are really expanding the diversity and equity of the manufacturing industry by bringing in people from our communities who aren't well represented in the industry today.
It's a learn and earn model. Learn a skill, then fill a job that can lead to a career. And there are jobs to fill.
Just in the surrounding areas of Cleveland, 3,000 open manufacturing jobs.
Ethan Karp is president and CEO of the Manufacturing Advocacy Growth Network, better known as Magnet.
We're going to be going into communities. We're going to be asking community groups, how can we be introduced to people that might never have considered this as a career.
And then show them in a way that they haven't been able to do before, because the additional money comes as they get set to move into a brand new massive campus this fall at East 63rd in Chester.
The new facility that we have is actually a centerpiece of a lot of this work. It's going to be a place where people can come and touch and feel in the Huff neighborhood, in Midtown area, for the entire city, what manufacturing is all about.
And the goal is not only to provide the training, but also provide the wraparound services, transportation, childcare that are often challenges to getting that fresh start. With Democracy 2022, I'm John Kasich. Enjoy your Sunday.
I'm Power 5 meteorologist Ramisha Shea. We're talking about a lot of heat out there today, and with the sunshine, that means very high UV index in store. In fact, it's going to be right around 8, so that means sunburn in as little as 15 minutes. So make sure you're prepared for all of the heat, humidity, and don't forget the sunscreen. We're close to 90 today, but when you factor in that humidity, that feels like temp will be close to triple digits. Look for more storms tomorrow.
Sponsored by Akron Children's Hospital.